little hitchhiker.
Oh, gosh, and her drink?
Mommamoo's a mom who cares, hasn't seen friends since it first aired. Amandamoo's affair, no doubt, seen it more than she could count. We're so happy you're here too, as we rewatch Friends and we say moo. 2moopoints.
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. Amandamoo.
Mommamoo.
We're back for another, what is this? A rewatch.
Yes, episode 3, the one with the thumb.
Written by Jeffrey Astrof and Mike Sikowitz, which is different from the first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Mark Hoffman and David Crane. And then we have the same director as basically until next episode, James Burrows. And the original air date was October 6, 1994, and nothing all that exciting was happening in the news.
Good.
At least, yeah, and it's kind of good. And 19.5 million people watched the 3rd episode, which is
still a good number.
I would say that's still pretty good. It is a little lower than the first 2 episodes. And on this episode, we got 3 storylines. We got Monica's friends wanting to meet her new guy that she's seeing. But in the past, they have judged and made fun of her dates. So will she let them meet Alan? And what would it be like if they actually really liked one of her suitors? And then Phoebe is having an interesting time with the universe. She's having issues with her bank. And then a severed thumb reveals itself in the most unexpected places. Or just one single place. They're not just everywhere. So what is the universe trying to tell her? And then we have Chandler and his long-lost love for smoking returning. The friends try to persuade him to quit, but will they succeed? Or will some outside sources be able to save the day? Alrighty, let's get into the episode. So we start with the cold open, which I don't really love. It's not a classic like last season. It's that Central Perk, and the friends are just talking about, well, basically Phoebe walks in and says that her date didn't really go that well because he said to her, we should do this again sometime. And everyone's like, ooh.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign. Then they go into like...
Yeah, different topics of, if they say certain things, it usually, sounds like it's positive, but it's not. It's usually
it's not you,
kiss-off
it's me.
comment. Yeah.
And things like that. And I don't know. It's fine. It's a fine cold open. And then we get our title sequence, which isn't just a normal title sequence. Actually, in the cold open, I'm pretty sure you can see Gunther in the background still.
Oh.
I mean, I did see him in this episode. I don't know if he was in that scene specifically. Then we get into the body of the show, and we have the very first ever scene filmed in Joey and Chandler's apartment. So we get to see it for the first time. It starts off with a zoom out from a shot of a poster that they have on their wall, and it's a poster of Laurel and Hardy, which is a British-American comedy duo from the late 1920s to the mid-1950s, basically till their death, which is like really sweet that they were together for like almost 30 years.
Which is kind of cool because they were a classic duo, and so are Chandler and Joey.
Well, they will be.
Yeah.
I guess 3 episodes in, it's probably not.
Right, well.
But they will be
as
for
we
sure.
know them, afterwards.
And the poster will basically be in the apartment for most of the series.
Cool.
Once, spoiler alert, Rachel moves in and stuff, then
things change a
things
little
do
bit.
change. And so Joey is rehearsing a scene for an audition, I assume, and he has to smoke in the scene, and Chandler is just like, that's not how you smoke. Or
No, because he's coughing and having a tough time.
Yeah, and Chandler was a smoker, supposedly 3 years back, and he's like, well, let me show you. And Joey's like, no way, I'm not going to let you smoke, whatever. And then Chandler's like, come on, let me show you. Then he takes one swig.
And
so what do you say? Swig?
I think, I don't know.
One swig of the cigarette, and he goes, oh my God. Basically,
He's
that's it. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Joey knows.
Yeah.
And then we go to a scene in Central Perk where Monica is telling the guys, they're talking about the theory that the thumb to the index finger, like that length, is basically equal to the size of a male's penis. And the guys are just like, what? And they're like, I don't know. They're not so happy with what it means for them. And I looked it up, and it's basically not true. there's lots of theories though. Shoe size and deep voice, which I had never heard that before. But it's not true. Science has been done. It's like the ring finger ratio to the index finger. I think that actually, there's some scientific proof, but I don't know. Then Rachel comes in with some orders for the friends. She's giving them their drinks. And she gets them wrong.
She's all excited because she's doing such a good job, and then she walks away, and everybody.
And she says, "Yay for me!"
I know.
And then they all
gets
switch
their drinks.
back. So what the orders were actually meant to be was Monica got a decaf cappuccino, Joey got a latte, Chandler got a coffee, black, and Ross got iced tea. And you said when we were watching, they had lattes in those days, and yeah. So
I thought lattes were kind of a new thing.
No, supposedly they were invented in the 1950s in Berkeley, California.
Really?
But then they were popularized in Seattle, Washington, which is the home of Starbucks. In the early 1980s and spread more widely in the early 1990s, which is when this aired.
Okay.
And then Phoebe walks in and she's all like
flustered.
And basically there was, I think it was $500 in her bank account that just like appeared.
An error.
And
she's very upset because it doesn't belong to her, and she doesn't
like,
want to spend it because then she'll just, every time she looks at whatever item she
shoes,
buys,
not
she'll be
mine. And yeah, so I looked it up, and basically it's illegal to spend money that you know is not, especially from a bank or whatever.
But what does she do? She complains to the bank, and to make up for it, they send her another, they deposit another $500.
So yeah, the bank just says immediately let them know.
That's hilarious.
Immediately let them know, and they'll fix the error. But yeah, you're not supposed to just let it sit and possibly spend it. That's illegal. You will go to jail. And like I read news stories about like a 18-year-old spending money, and then he's gonna have to he'll pay. Yeah. And Chandler is smoking, and the friends find him smoking.
And of course they have a panic attack because he was like in a really bad mood 3 years ago when he quit smoking, and they had to live with it, and now all of a sudden he's smoking again, and so they're thinking, oh no.
Yeah, like don't even get it started. And so you could smoke indoors in New York.
Yeah.
State until 2003.
Wow.
And that's when it was banned in all enclosed workplaces. And then, so Monica is like, hey, I have to go. I have a date. And they're like, when can we meet the guy? And she's just like, not going to happen. Do you remember what happened with Steve? And Chandler's like, Steve, what's something? I don't know. Basically, he had like a list where he would like, shh, I don't know, talk like that. Which, first of all, not cool. Don't make fun of people and their...
This is Friends.
I know. No. I don't know. Don't make fun of people's lisps or the way they speak or anything. Don't make fun of people.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, you really liked that shtick. Is that what we would call it? So then we go to Monica's work where she's talking to her coworker who is played by Jennifer Lewis. Did you recognize that was Jennifer Lewis?
No.
Well, she's kind of a big deal. She's...
Is she a singer?
No. She's known... Well, she is. She's everything. She's known as the mother of Black Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
She started... on Broadway, then she was someone's Dionne Warwick. She was someone's backup singer, and then she moved to movies, TV.
She's a good actress.
Yeah. She was so good in this episode. I know her from Blackish. She's Anthony Anderson's mom in Blackish.
Oh my God! Well, I know her then.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, she's a good actress.
And she does lots of voice acting as well, including she was in The Princess and the Frog as Mama Odie, and she was actually on Dancing with the Stars last night singing her song.
Oh, she was?
Back up for Shangela, who was her assistant and stayed at her place and like rented out a room from her for 10 years.
Oh my gosh, so they really got some history.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And so I just saw her yesterday on TV. Or on my streamings, Disney Plus service, whatever Dancing with the Stars is on now. So basically, Paula, Monica's coworker, is like, well, you don't know if your friends will ever like one of the guys you date because you're not going to let them.
Yeah.
And so basically she kind of convinces Monica.
Yeah, she kind of gives in, and then we get to meet Ellen.
Yeah. So next episode is at Monica's apartment, and Phoebe walks in again all a fluster. Because the bank was just like, oh, we're so sorry for the inconvenience or the mess up. We're going to credit your account $500, like extra.
Now that she doesn't have to give back, because that's...
Credited $500, but then she's like, I have $1,000. So she got to keep the first $500. She got $500 more and a football phone.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. My dad coached soccer when I was a kid, and one year they got him a soccer phone. Like, it was this big fake soccer phone, and they all signed it, and I think we still have it in our garage.
Yeah.
But now Phoebe has a football phone. Cool. And so she's talking about how she now has $1,000 in this new phone, and one of my favorite lines from the whole episode, Rachel says, what bank is this?
I know. It sounds like I want to be a customer there.
Like, yeah, especially for Rachel. And I really like the dress that Rachel is wearing.
Yeah.
And so Chandler is outside on the porch.
Smoking.
What is that, a porch? No, yeah. A balcony.
Balcony, yeah.
And he's smoking. I think that's the first time that we see someone on the balcony.
Oh.
I think so. But he's smoking, and it starts raining, and he's just like, come on, let me in. Whatever. But anyway, so the friends all call him in because Alan's here, Monica's boyfriend. And so he comes in, and his hair is all slicked back, and he looked really nice. Mm-hmm. That was a note I took. And so Alan walks in, and you thought this was hilarious. He says,
Still do.
I've heard so much about you guys. I cannot do it. I've heard so much about you.
I've heard so much about all you guys.
He does the lisp thing.
Yeah.
So basically Monica had told him about it, and he thought it would be funny to...
And it was funny.
And you thought it was hilarious. Big laugh from Mama.
And they thought he was great.
Hold on. The actor is Jeffrey Lower. I don't know how to say his name. Joffrey Lower. And he was in the TV show Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. And he was also in the movie Hook, which I think is pretty cool. But if you go onto his IMDb page, it's like impossible to recognize that that's Alan. Because, you know, he had the long hair and the beard. You would be surprised if I showed you a picture. Yeah. So big laugh from Mama. And then so the next scene is still at Monica's apartment, but Alan has just left. And Monica's like, okay, give it to me. What do you got to say about Alan? And they're like, well, they're like, nope, we love him. Like you just said, we love him. They all like love him.
Which is
odd.
Odd, yes.
Yeah. Ross mentions that he had a crooked smile. He just loved the crooked smile. And Phoebe goes like, oh yeah, like the nursery rhyme. There was a crooked man with a crooked smile. And they're like, what? So what I think is that it's a mixture of two nursery rhymes that she's getting confused.
Yeah.
The classic, there was an old lady who lived in a shoe.
Yeah, this was an old
which
man.
is a very weird nursery rhyme.
A lot of money.
She beats her children.
And
then there was another one that says, there was a crooked man and he walked a crooked mile. He found a crooked blah, 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 blah. Which is actually kind of cute, but I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they love Alan. The next scene is at Central Perk after some of the friends finished a softball game. They walk in all like, boo-hoo-hoo. And Monica's like, how did the game go? And they're like, we won! And Alan saved the day, of course. So they still love Alan.
Yeah.
And Monica's like, do you think he's just too Alan? No, they don't. So the next scene is on the street. Do you have anything?
Funny. The
yeah.
homeless woman calls Phoebe the weird girl.
Hey, weird girl. And you also mentioned look at the cars in the background.
Oh, yeah.
Because it really tells you we're in a different time period.
Yeah.
It almost looked like they were like from the 70s.
I know.
I don't know. Hey, weird girl. So the lady on the street that we're talking about is named Lizzie. She's played by Beth Grant, who has been in lots of stuff. And you'll probably recognize her. She was Dwight's babysitter in 2 episodes of The Office, including the classic dinner party episode. Probably everyone's favorite episode of The Office. And then she was in Speed, which I think I recognize her from the movie Speed. She was also in Donnie Darko, No Country for Old Men, and Little Miss Sunshine. Yeah. She's just awesome, and she's great in this episode. So Phoebe's like, here's $1,000, and I think she gives her the phone too. And she's just like, weird girl, what are you doing?
I can't take, well, she didn't say I can't take this, but, or did she?
Well, she's just like, what are you doing? Is this real or whatever? And then she's like, can I get you something? Can I buy, I don't know, a pretzel? She wants to buy her a pretzel. And she's like, no, you can give me a soda, whatever. Then we go to Chandler's work, and we just have a quick little scene where he's opening up his drawer, getting his smoke, smoking, spraying like
It's
something.
it's an air cleaner type thing.
Well,
but
that's
it's not
Ozium, but he's also
Ozium,
spraying
yeah.
something in his, like a breath.
Well, he does the Ozium in his mouth.
I know, but first it shows that he's spraying
I
like
see.
a breath freshener or whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, what a funny scene.
Yeah, and in the background there's a Toronto Blue Jays baseball cap because Matthew Perry is Canadian. And supposedly he's a fan of the team. And there's also a Bumble ball, just that bouncy, like vibrating ball that I think my cousins had. And it like just bounces. I don't know, but I love that Chandler has that in the background. Yeah, so he accidentally sprays Ozium air freshener in his, or air sanitizer in his mouth. And I looked it up. Very dangerous. Don't do it. You could die.
But he's funny, huh? He's just sneaking the cigarettes again. And...
Yeah, he has to. It also says use in a well-ventilated area. His office cubicle is not well ventilated. We go back to Phoebe on the street with Lizzie, and she has her soda, and Lizzie's like, hey, bye. And Phoebe opens up her can and goes, huh. We go back to Central Perk, and we hear Ross go, a thumb? She's like, yeah. It was just, what did she say? It's like a little hitchhiker.
Yeah.
Just floating in there. Yes, there is a thumb. I assume a severed thumb floating in her drink. And
So
I don't think she drinks it.
And then they make a comment about, is she going to buy more cans so that she can get a whole hand?
Yeah, that's Chandler saying maybe it's a collect them all type of thing. That is funny. So I guess the year before, 1993, there was a headline in the Buffalo News stating, a man says he found finger in can of soda, files suit. But at the end of the article, the funniest quote, it says, the bottling company offered him a case of Pepsi when he called to tell them what had happened. It's like, oh, we're so sorry that happened. Here's some more.
Could have given him at least $500 from the bank.
Oh, that is... what? Yeah, more soda to find more...
to find more
fingers. Yeah, and then there's that whole... Do you remember the Wendy's chili when the woman said she found a piece of finger in Wendy's chili?
Yes, that was terrible.
So that was all a scam.
No.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. It's gross to hear about, though. Like, not good. And then everyone freaks out again at Chandler, who wants to smoke some more. And he says, everyone has their own flaw. And he, like, names off all of their flaws or whatever.
Flaws, which is very funny.
It is funny, except I only recognize 2 as being, like, actual flaws that we see in the series. Like, Monica snorting. She never snorts. Phoebe chewing on her hair. That feels like a Phoebe thing, but I don't really remember her doing that. And then,
but of course they all start doing their
flaws.
Yeah,
but then Joey, like, cracking his knuckles.
Yeah.
But, like, Ross does overpronounces. I don't know. He just talks that way, whatever. And then also Rachel not getting drink orders correct. That happens. But do you remember me? I used to buy my hair when I was a kid. I don't know why. I have no reasoning behind that. Camera died. Again. We're having a great day with camera stuff. Anyways, we're back at Monica's job with her coworker Paula. And Monica is basically just telling her, yeah, I just don't feel the thing with Alan. And Paula says, honey, you should always feel the thing. And she says, if you don't feel it, then just break up with him. And Monica's just like, ugh, I'm not worried about breaking up with Alan. I'm worried about how it'll affect the friends.
Yes, who have all fallen in love with Alan.
Obsessed.
And the baseball team and everything. I mean,
there's a history there. There's foundation they've created. We go to Central Perk where the guys, I think it's just Ross and Joey, are just keeping going the whole stop smoking, Chandler. You have to stop. And he's just like, I've had it with you and your cancer and emphysema and whatever. Like, the bottom line is smoking is cool. And you guys know it. And I got red vines for us to pretend smoke with.
Because this is how we smoke.
Because this is how we smoke. Because we're cool. But also, smoking does look pretty cool. I'm not going to eat this. Okay. Maybe I will. I've had 3 already today. But I do think it looks cool, but don't do it.
That's right.
Smoke with red vines.
Yeah.
It's not healthy, but I think it's better than smoking. Right?
It tastes better.
Definitely tastes better. Anyways, there's a phone call at Central Perk, because why wouldn't you call Central Perk? And Rachel's like, the phone, it's for you, Chandler. And Chandler's like,
a smoker.
And it's Alan or whatever. And Alan basically tells Chandler.
Yeah.
He says something, I don't remember
whatever
what.
he says, it convinces, because he's They
He's
like him
Alan.
so much. He's Alan.
And he's just like, yeah, okay. And he's just like, I don't know, what does he do? He like puts his...
Yeah, he puts a cigarette in Phoebe's.
No, that's at the beginning.
Oh, really? That was funny when she says, I guess I'm not drinking this.
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. He puts a cigarette out.
Yeah.
Might be then. I don't think it is, though. It's during that first scene, I think. Anyways, we'll figure that out later, I guess. And then we go back to Monica's apartment, where Monica will tell the friends, let them know. But anyways, the friends are watching Lamb Chops play along. And Chandler says, how old is that song? I used to watch
Lamb Chops. Yeah.
Play along, and it was a PBS show. But I loved Lamb Chop.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that these,
years.
25, 26-year-olds, 27, whatever, they're watching Lamb Chop.
Mm-hmm. Wondering how old that sock is.
Yeah. Phoebe's eating Pop-Tarts. I mean, this is just my childhood right here. I didn't get Pop-Tarts. I could have, but I chose Red Vines. Then Monica walks in and she's just like, is Joey here? Because she wants all of them together. She goes get Joey, who had just come out of the shower with wet hair. We got 2 of our guys with wet hair today.
That's
interesting. Right. She gets everyone together and she says, we have to talk. And she turns off Lamb Chop. And they're all like, hey! And he's just like, love it. And it's one of my favorite lines, which is cut from the original airing, but it's on the DVDs. She says, it's about Alan. And then Rachel's like, oh, speaking of which, did you tell him that we're on for the Renaissance Fair next week? And everyone's like, oh, yeah. And she's just like, okay, yeah. So I think I have to break up with Alan. And the friends are devastated. Absolutely devastated. They act like they're being broken up with. But I don't know. They're silly. It's very silly, but it's kind of like farce. Is it a farce? Is that kind of the whole thing? Oh, Rachel, with another one of my favorite lines, with the holidays coming up,
I know.
I wanted him to meet my family. It's just like, what is going on here? And Monica's just like, oh my God.
I know.
Whatever.
This is over the top.
She goes off to break up with Alan, and when she tells him, he's just like, you know what, I'm sort of relieved. And she's like, really? And he says, well, not about you, but what did he say?
Your friends.
You couldn't really stand your friends. Which reminds me of Spice Girls. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends.
That's true.
And Alan doesn't get with her friends.
So it wasn't going to work.
Anyway. So thank you to Monica's feelings.
And to her coworker who said, you gotta feel that thing. Yeah.
So then we have the tag, which would be running during the credits. We're in Monica's apartment. The other friends are sitting around. I think they're eating cheesecake and ice cream. Is that what we think they're eating? And they're just depressed. They're just eating their feelings and talking about Alan, of course. And they're reminiscing about, remember the time that we went to Central Park and we rented boats with Alan? And Ross says, he rode like a Viking.
That's right. That was hilarious.
It's like they played softball. They went rowing with Alan. They were gonna go to the Renaissance Fair. I mean,
here's our new best friend.
This man. I mean, what,
if it could have worked out, he could have been
days?
like part of the friends, the whole thing.
I mean, that's what the friends wanted. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
And maybe in the scene before we found out that Phoebe, what happened? Oh, she got $7,000. I guess it's in this scene. Maybe she got $7,000 from the soda company. For the
that's
film.
right.
So $7,000 extra. What's she gonna do with that now?
She's
Give it to Lizzie.
I'm gonna go see Lizzie, and Lizzie's gonna say, "Hi, weird girl.
Weird girl, you're the best. Love you." But anyways, Monica comes in, and it's obviously from her breakup, and they're all like, "How is he?" or whatever, and they're like, "Did he say anything about us?" And she said, "He said he's really gonna miss you guys."
Yeah,
and
might
they're
as
just
well.
like, "Oh."
They're not gonna see him again, so might as well.
Just help them out a little bit.
Wrap it up nicely.
And I don't know, I noticed this the last time I watched it. Monica goes and sits next to Ross, and he said rough day or whatever, and he presses between her eyebrows, which I looked up, and it's an acupressure point, and it's known as the yin tang. It's often called the third eye point as well. And if you press like it's between your eyebrows, it can relieve a stuffy or runny nose and sinus headache pain, which is something I guess I should start doing because I've been having allergy stuff. And so Chandler is just so depressed about this whole Alan thing. He's like, you know what? I gotta go smoke. And so he's like walking out the door, and
who?
Chandler, like I say.
Alan
is so depressed about this whole Alan thing. No, Chandler is so depressed about this whole Alan thing. He's like, nope, I gotta smoke. I gotta do it.
And he's like walking out the door, and Phoebe's like, I'll give you $7,000 if you won't smoke ever again.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. That's the end of the episode. But, spoiler alert, Chandler will smoke again.
Oh, really?
In multiple episodes. But, it's okay. Because we love Chandler, and he doesn't continue smoking.
Okay.
You know, there's no, whatever. Okay, Mom, what did you think about the episode?
It was good.
It wasn't my favorite of the three we've seen.
I hate to have a score of 6 and then 5 and now go lower than that, but I was thinking 4.
Okay.
What about you?
I was thinking either 5, but now, after talking through it, I almost feel like it's a 4 just because I really do like the Alan storyline, though. I think that's pretty
I do too.
pretty good.
And I like the Phoebe storyline.
I don't love how it goes back and forth between scenes so often. Like, we're in Ross's work, then we're at Monica's work, then we're at Phoebe's with Lizzie. I don't know. There's a lot of just back and forth. I'll be nice and give it a 5. You give it a 4? Okay.
Bye,
But-
friends.
Wait. Next week, though, is probably my favorite episode. One of my favorite episodes of Friends. The one with George Stephanopoulos.
So it might get a 6 or a 7 next week. So
Possibly.
stay tuned.
I hope.
Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.